Hello, this is my essay, and I want to spread my ideas about how I imagine the perfect ideal society. I'm a philosopher. I formulate ideas and offer them to other people. I'm interested in the concepts of justice and morality. I want to formulate my vision of an ideal society. It is clear to me that modern humanity does not coincide with my idea, and I should not naively expect that all people will change. Probably the main task of this essay is to understand what holes in my worldview, what inconsistencies, what contradictions. If you're watching this, then I would like to hear from you a criticism of my vision of an ideal society. First, the obvious sustainable development and environmentalism. Human society is taking a potential climate catastrophe seriously, and human society is changing the way it produces goods. People also change their own habits in order to lead an ecological lifestyle. Second, anti-consumerism. Human society consciously and purposefully reevaluates values, and people sincerely decide to spend less money on economic material goods. And people sincerely decide to shift their focus to spiritual, non material ideas, such as science, art, sports, relationships, hobbies, crafts, self development, education, personal growth, and others. And there is also legislative restrictions on advertising and marketing. It will be much more difficult to engage in advertising and be in a legal field. The less advertising, the less consumer manipulation. Well, the less waste there will be. Consumers are also informed about the working conditions of the employees of the organizations that produces the product or service. Thus, consumers will be prone to create consumer boycotts for organizations that use child labor or forced labor or dangerous labor. Third, veganism. Human society sincerely decides not to use animals as a resource. I think animals don't deserve to die for the sake of our eating habits. There are alternatives to meat and animal products, and they are delicious too. If demand generates supply, then a general rejection of meat will minimize the livestock business. Education. Fourth, education. Human society is pouring money not into traditional education, but into digital education. In other words, creators of educational content and online schools are being rewarded with money. Now, if a student cannot understand a school subject, or if a student has bad relationships with a teacher, then he or she freely decides to study with another teacher or online. This way, students will reduce stress due to teacher pressure, as well as students will receive feedback on their mistakes faster and in a playful way. In other words, the Ministry of Education is changing priorities and putting the mental health of children above the priority of control and the priority of an academic performance. Oh my god, I have such a perfect quality of camera. No, 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 no. You must watch me like this. Yeah. Now the non-obvious. Fifth, propaganda. I don't know how to do this. There are media outlets that create news or cover socio-political events. Let these media outlets teach viewers how to recognize information manipulation. This is an analogy for manufacturers writing health warnings on cigarette packs. 6. Religion. Let people still have the right to profess any religion, as well as the right to change their religion at will. And at the same time, people are not subject to punishment for their views. Economy. 7. Economy. I don't have a deep knowledge of economics to make informed statements. However, I'm satisfied with a mixed economy. That is, when there are market relations and there is partial regulation of markets in order to maintain social justice. 8. Medicine. It becomes free. That is paid by the state from budgetary funds or through donations. This is the case in every country. Obviously, in different countries and in different cities, there will be different degrees of quality of medicine, and it is probably impossible to achieve perfect equality in anything. 9. 9! Nationalism versus cosmopolitanism. Human society ceases to be divided into different nations. The concept of nation is considered obsolete. That is all for now. I have not covered many other social institutions because I don't have a well-formed opinion about them. I ask you to give me constructive criticism of my views. I will be very grateful if you help me to get rid of unsound belief. Yeah. Thank you very much. Bye bye.